Hey kids, it's that time. Yep, it's time for you to love to hate. I'm Philip Fullman.
And I am Brandon Luna. Wow, I just cracked on my voice there. I'm a pro. I'm having some throat issues.
You
so
want me?
I got an
Hold
excuse.
on. Wait. I'm Philip Fullman.
And I am Brandon Luna.
Nicely done.
There you go. We
Yeah.
got it the second time.
We'll
around.
take it out in post.
Gee, maybe. I don't know. Leave it. Makes the show a little more.
Post.
Right. Post. I don't
Yeah.
do any post. I put the beginning
We just
and the
came
end.
up with a subject like 2 minutes ago. And
Totally.
I don't
totally.
know.
So what are we going to talk about today?
This is a suggestion from a listener.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're doing that now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, hey, thanks, Gary and McKinney. Actually, he's a guy who is a customer at my shop. I won't tell you what we sell. But
I can neither confirm nor
or
deny.
It is a generic cigar shop.
Yes. We said the word.
No. Damn it.
It's okay. It's okay.
But anyway, he said flat earthers. I guess that's something that irks
It's
him.
it's a big thing now. It's weird. It's gained traction. I have
How does
no
it gain
idea.
traction? How is it like something stupid forever, and then all of a sudden somebody's like,
You know,
I don't fucking get it.
I don't get it either, man. I don't. I mean, I get it. The flat earthers are saying, is it square or is it the same shape? It's just flat. Is it round and flat? Is
Well,
that
they say
the idea?
round, but here's what I'm thinking: if it's flat, how do you see sky in front of you?
Right.
Because it would be flat, so it's got to at least be like a dome. So we're like in a snow globe.
I don't know. It's one of the most predictions. Conspiracy theories in general. I mean, I think some of them have some merit.
Sure.
You know, like the whole Kennedy thing.
There's some plausible
stuff.
things. They're like, hey, maybe the mob did, have a vendetta against him.
Yeah,
or something
totally.
like that. But some of these, like the flat, like my
flat
thing
earth
is,
thing is
even with the Kennedy thing, okay, we don't want the country to know that we were unable to protect the president or that it was because of the mob. Other than the globe industry protecting its dominance so that the map industry does not gain a sharehold, why would you have a conspiracy over whether the earth is flat? What does that do?
I don't know. It's I guess a pseudoscientific belief that people are holding on to. It's just one of those things.
I don't even know if it's pseudoscience or just like something a little kid makes up because he doesn't understand gravity.
I blame YouTube. I mean, that's YouTube is a breeding ground for conspiracies. Anybody that has a YouTube channel, knows that there's always people out there posting. As soon as one thing hits that someone says, you know what, that's right. It's this wellspring of people doing the same conspiracy theories with their own twists.
Because it sounds logical when they hear it, and then
Right.
at no point do they ever go investigate it. But I mean, a lot of this that doesn't even sound logical when I hear it.
Right.
Like, oh, it's flat. Like, no. Right. Like, where's the curve? Where's the curve when you fly? Well, if you've flown high enough, you can see a bit of a curve.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Like I said, you can still see, sky on the horizon in front of you. So if it's not at least a dome, and then I guess the idea of you can drop off the side, but
Right.
there's something I read. There's like a giant ice wall around the perimeter. Or a giant I swear to God. And it prevents you from going over, but it's guarded by the governments of the world.
So we're getting to the point now where we're with, the technology that we have. We're pretty soon going to be able to have regular flights where you go into space.
Sure.
And down. It cuts down on your flight time. So should all the flat earthers get like a free ticket just to be able to go up there and go, oh, okay.
It's worth it just to get you to shut the fuck up.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, that seems like a
Well, there was
logical
one
thing.
flat earther. He built his own rocket ship and was going to go up. I swear to God, he was going to go up to prove
die
it.
is what he's gonna do.
And you look at it, and it's like literally, it looks like somebody on Green Acres got together and put this piece of shit together. And it's like, dude, God bless. If you want to go up in the sky in that. The fact that you would try to fly this shows me how intelligent you are in the first place.
Right. But you got to give him props for being able to make a rocket.
All right,
there's
fair.
that.
Fair, okay, fair point.
I'm just saying.
All right,
He's
I'll
doing
give
some
it-
rocket science there. Billy Bob's doing some rocket science.
I'll give him
He's
that.
using, vinyl siding for the rocket.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to use the tools that are available.
Right.
I don't even know where to go with that. And when I first heard it, it's like, what? No. No, this went out as soon as Columbus sailed, right? People were like, oh, he came back, son of a gun. But no. And I don't understand why it would be a conspiracy. Why is it that we've heard it's round, but yet it's actually not?
I don't know. I mean, all the evidence we have from space of other planets and stuff, I mean, we've seen that they're spherical. So why would you think other planets are spherical? Do those people then think every other planet's not spherical either? Or they think it's
Brandon, a LP is circular, but it's flat.
Okay.
So that's what you're looking at.
Right.
Yeah, what I don't get is if it's flat, then if the sun was up in the sky, everybody would have daylight at the same time.
Right. Exactly.
But then they come up with some bullshit way to go, no, because it's over here. Like, it doesn't matter. It's flat. You're going to see light everywhere.
Okay, so here's something from Wikipedia. The solar eclipse of August 21st, 2017 gave rise to numerous YouTube videos supporting or showing how the details of the eclipse proved that the Earth is flat. Also in 2017, a scandal developed in Arab scientific and educational circles when a Tunisian PhD student submitted a thesis declaring the Earth to be flat, unmoving the center of the universe. Really? Okay.
Wait, that was his thesis?
Yeah, and that the Earth and the universe is only 13,500 years old.
I wouldn't give him a degree. I'd be like, you know what? No.
Right.
You sir fail.
So there was a movie with the flat Earth in it.
What?
Yeah. You remember Dark City?
Vaguely.
Dark City was like the precursor to the Matrix. It was basically this.
Oh, okay.
Had the whole thing with the clock watchers. Had the guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show in it. He was, in it as the main bad guy or whatever.
Right.
And they had a theory that they would freeze time and set the clocks and stuff. And basically, Earth was flat and it was flying through space or something. It was crazy. Yeah. So if you haven't seen Dark City in a while, but I don't necessarily know that was supposed to be Earth. I think it was like alien approximation of Earth because they were doing testing on humans. I think was the thesis.
So it's like the Truman Show in space, or our planet was destroyed, so we put everybody on this lovely holodeck, and now they'll never know.
Something like that, yeah.
That was an episode of, God, what did I just watch?
What, Star Trek Generations?
No, it wasn't Star Trek.
Oh, was it that show that's on Netflix?
Dark Matter?
Dark Matter, no. That's not the one I was thinking of, but okay.
Oh, what the hell was it?
But
that's what it was. The whole planet was a hologram.
Dark Mirror.
Dark Mirror. No.
It wasn't Black Mirror? It wasn't that show?
No.
Okay.
That's going to irk me.
Yeah, you'll figure
it out. The whole thing was
old brain will chunk along, and eventually it'll spout out.
Eventually it'll click. The whole ship was a hologram because their planet had died.
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, man. All right, that's going to bug me. But anyway,
we'll figure it out.
That was a plot to something. So maybe that's it. Maybe we're all in a giant spaceship hurtling through space.
I don't know, man. I don't think the Earth is flat. I think we've done enough research and all these things to know that we've been to the moon and back. I mean, I think those guys would know if it was
flat. Or have we?
And what
did we fake the moon landing?
Another conspiracy theory that you can get into the rabbit hole on YouTube and spend several days.
All of a sudden, everybody is Mike Myers' dad from So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Right. It's the pentagonist.
Colonel Sanders before he went teats up.
Right.
Do people... Like, we don't have enough problems in the world, or you don't have enough personal shit in your life. You've got to all of a sudden go, well, this is an issue. Or maybe it's a way to dodge your personal issues. Like, hey, I'm an insecure, person who lashes out. So I'm going to distract from my personal issues and say that there's this conspiracy going on just to rile people. Or maybe some people just like the fucking attention.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, you think I think you have to be a certain mindset to buy into that type of stuff and to really own it. I mean, those are the same guys that are into the worlders. What do they call those guys? The guys that
apocalypse guys. Shit. Preppers, doomsday preppers.
Yeah, doomsday preppers. Yeah, those guys are probably in the same mindset. That they think it's going to happen. They know it's going to happen, and just waiting for it to happen. So the flat earther guys are kind of have that same theory. Like, we know we're right. Eventually, we'll be proved right. But I don't know.
Maybe
there's something to be said for doomsday preppers. I think
sure. I mean,
probably got a right idea, but they go a little too far.
There's at least a thread in there. But yeah, they take it too far.
Anytime you see anything about those guys in that kind of mindset, it's always in lieu of their family. Like they're going crazy doing this, and they're so obsessed that they have no family life. It's just like absorbed.
But it's all designed to protect their family.
Right, yeah.
And like you said, they go so far over the top. It's like the difference between protecting your kids, like, hey, don't run out into the middle of the street.
Right.
Or, hey, wash your hands. And then becoming a germaphobe and just never letting your kid out of the house. It's like you can take it way too far. Not that there's any place. I mean, once you start with flat earth, you've already gone too far.
Right.
But they're almost like trolls. Because I've thought about, people talk about, this situation in Dallas where a cop just shot a guy in his own apartment. And then there was all of a sudden a picture online saying, this is her with that guy. They knew each other. And it wasn't them.
Right.
Somebody purposely did that. All the rumors you see online, some of that bullshit about, hey, this guy is in this movie or this person was seen there. I can't wrap my mind around, why do you want to start a lie? Do you just want to see how far it goes before people call you on it, or or to see if you can make something go viral?
Right.
But what's the thrill in telling a lie and seeing if it takes off? I don't get that.
It's probably the same thrill hackers get by going and taking over websites and doing what they do. I mean, there's something
just because it's there and you can.
Because it's there and you can. You want to do it and see what happens, and see what the results are, and test the idiocy of humanity, I guess, in the process.
So they're like social scientists, and we're all their laboratory,
or they're social terrorists, if you want to put it that way.
That would be a much more apt way of putting it.
I mean,
because they're divisive.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what they do. I mean, they just find ways to tear at the fiber a little bit more and get people thinking about stuff that's not important, and that's really what it is. Because conspiracy theories on a whole, let's be honest, probably 90% of them are total just bullshit, and maybe 10% are real.
Yeah.
I would say. And the 10%, if we actually got told that Area 51 was an actual thing and there was aliens and we've seen them and we've dealt with them,
right,
that's going to change things, right? I mean, if we told by the government this really did happen, we're opening the files, hey guys, we're not alone, I mean, that's going to change things. So,
true.
There's a lot. I think that's why that stuff never gets out there. They're not going to say, okay, yeah, the mob did kill Kennedy. Because then all those nutbags that have been saying it forever are going to be, we were right about that. We're probably right about the flat Earth too, and we're also doomsday preppers, and they're all the same guy, right?
You're right.
So I think there's maybe some truth to that 10%, but we're never going to hear it. Not in our lifetime, I don't think. It may come out eventually, but when we can read minds and shit.
There is a documentary on Netflix. Did we talk about this last time?
Which one?
It's Undiscovered, Undisclosed, or something like that, where all these people in the government and the Air Force come out and say, when the Air Force came out and said, yeah, we did have a part of the budget dedicated to studying UFOs.
Right.
And then all these people start coming out, and they're talking about, we've been denied for so long, all these ex-government people going, no, and then they found this, but this was covered up. And it even got to the point where they said, we couldn't tell the president because they're like, the president isn't cleared to know this information. Wow. And if he knew it and reported it, he would be assassinated.
Right.
And I was like, what? I don't get that. And then I think,
can we tell the current president all that stuff? So, because he's going to tweet it, right?
That's true.
He'll be out of office pretty quick after that, if that's the case.
Aliens right here. I don't know. To me, it's just so freaking weird. That it's like, okay, you've got credentials. I mean, you're a smart guy, but there's that line between genius and insanity that's very thin. So it's kind of like, I just have a hard time believing it. First of all, I don't have a problem believing that there's other life in the universe. It's a huge universe. So I have no problem with that. Why do they have to be gray with big eyes? Or why do they have to have claws? Why do they have to look like monsters that have been drawn in comic books and in sci-fi movies? And why are they so obsessed with our anuses?
Exactly, I was going to say.
I don't get any of that. But it's always got to be, well, if it's an alien life, it's got to look like something we don't understand.
Yeah,
and that then they start to lose me.
So you think it's more like They Live, where they're here already and they look like aliens, but they've got a smoke screen around us, we can't tell?
No, it's like V.
Ooh, well, same thing, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
They got the fake masks.
I don't know. I don't think anybody's come to the planet and visited. And
I think they have. I think we've had. I don't think people have stayed. I don't think there's aliens here, like hanging out and like telling us how to get new technology going. Like they're not
this
working
place
for
sucks.
Apple. Or anything.
It's like I just stopped. It's like you don't have. It's like we're on an electric ship. You guys don't have anything for us to plug in.
Right. We can't dock
Nothing?
here. What's going on? Yeah.
They'd have to dock in California at that point.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think about it. And furthermore, I don't care. It doesn't, I wake up in the morning, it's like, I got my own stuff to deal with.
Right.
Regardless of whether or not somebody came down here to see if we're worthy of whatever they're going to bestow upon us.
You say that, but if you woke up and were getting ready for work and there was a, on the news about a big giant spaceship over New York, you'd be like, I'm not going in today, probably, I would think.
My bosses wouldn't go for it. I wouldn't have coverage. I mean, I'd have to.
Right.
So, I mean, there would be that. Now, if it's over McKinney, Texas, then maybe I'm going to stay home with my dog.
Right.
Just to see what happens. But yeah, other than that,
I
don't see that happening. It'd
So
be better if it was over LA. Anyway.
Right. Let's get rid of that shithole.
The views expressed about LA are not necessarily wrong. No, California is a great place to visit.
Yeah, I wouldn't want
for
to
a couple. I would not want to live there.
And the traffic situation. If I worked from home and I was living on the beach, maybe we could talk. But I'd have to have another house that was not getting pelted by.
Would you,
every...
money aside, not thinking about how much it cost of living or anything, would you rather live in New York State or California?
Ooh, I'd probably go California, man.
Really?
I'd probably go San Diego, which is a whale's vagina.
Oh, right, man.
That's right.
Yeah. You could go to San Diego with your people, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, I'm one of those people that, like, I don't have a plan. I don't have my millionaire plan. Right? I don't have my car picked out. I don't have my house picked out. I don't know where I'm going to live. That's all shit that if it ever happened, I'd have to figure it out. Because I'm not a car guy, number one. Like, I drive point A to point B. I'm not like, I'm going to get this Mercedes or this, Maserati or whatever. I don't have a car that I have to have. It's not a big deal to me, especially one that costs as much as a house. So
I think you're like me in that, and again, having not won the lottery, I don't know.
Right.
But I think that I'm the type of person who I don't want those things now.
Right.
I don't look at a Mercedes and go, oh, man, if only I had the money. I don't care.
Me either.
I don't want one. So I can't imagine all of a sudden having the money to be able to buy one and go, now I can get it. Because in my mind, I'm like, I like my Hyundai. I could pay off my Hyundai.
Right.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I there's just, now you can buy a $150 pair of pants. I don't want a $150 pair of pants now. It's not that I can't afford them.
Right.
As much as it is, I don't want them. I don't want a big fancy watch.
Yeah, I can't wear $150 pants the way I eat. I cannot not spill something on me. I'm like a child. I even go like full on fat guy cartoon, where I tuck the napkin in and stuff, and I do that at restaurants, and people look at me, and I'm like, hey, I'm not going to stay in this shirt that I just got.
You know what I saw? Yeah, God, what was it in Sky Mall when they still did that? It was a bib for your tie. And it was like, it looked like a tie pin that you could clasp across, but then you pull it down, and there's a little plastic sheet that goes over your tie so you don't get sweet and sour sauce on it.
That's awesome. No, I need a whole, it's mostly a splatter zone kind of,
Depending on what I'm eating, sometimes I'll do it. Or if I'm sitting at the house and it's in my lap, I realize this is going to easily end up on my shirt because I'm not sitting over anything. So it's like, So I tuck it in. So I look like Wimpy.
Right.
That was a Popeye character for those of you who...
Yeah.
I knew you got it, but...
I gladly pay you Tuesday
for a hamburger today.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, boy, do we date ourselves.
God, that movie sucked. Did you like Popeye?
I never saw it.
The live action one?
There was nothing about that appealed to me.
So bad.
I just looked at it and was like,
you were a kid too.
Yeah, but even as a kid, I'm like, no.
I went and saw it in the theater.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. I mean, just like...
Shelley Duvall was well cast.
She was very well cast.
Yeah.
But it just... That is one of those... There's movies... Okay, there's a category of movies that I have. Most of them are from my youth. Where movies that I may have liked as a kid and I no longer enjoy because they're just noisy. And I think as you get older, you don't like noisy movies as much.
True.
Goonies is one of them. That's nonstop kids talking and yelling the entire time. I think 95% of the dialogue in that movie is yelled because they're children acting. And I can't take it. Like, I can't watch Goonies anymore. Popeye is so... just random, and people are constantly talking. I mean, that director does that.
It's very hyper.
It's very hyper. There's always something going on. It's just there's no stopping point. It's just nonstop. I can't do it. And even with some of the movies now, the way they direct them and the way they edit them, Michael Bay is a good example. Like nothing's on the screen for longer than 30 seconds. I can't take it. There has to be a story and there has to be dialogue that I can listen to. And
I watched Jack Ryan, the Amazon series.
Right.
Like the first episode, and then as the credits are going, and there's like 1,000 executive producers on that show.
Right.
But the one I got was his executive producer, Michael Bay. And I'm like,
Bay.
Son of a bitch. It's going to start to suck. It didn't. I mean, I gave it a B+.
Okay.
There's one storyline in there that I'm like, what the hell?
You told me about that. So it never resolved in anything that was worth the crap.
Nothing.
That sucks.
Nothing. Unless they pay it off next season, but it doesn't look like it's going that way.
Right.
I was like, what the hell was the point of that?
Right.
It just, I still don't know.
I hate when they do that. They could have cut about 20 minutes out of the series probably total without having that or more.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
It was just not necessary. It dragged in a few parts, but overall it was pretty good.
So better than Some of All Fears.
Was that the one with Affleck?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Better than whatever the one was with Chris Pine. I don't even know what the name of that was.
I haven't seen that one, but I have to assume that it is.
Yeah. I mean, I liked, Hunt for October. I liked Patriot Games. And I think that was about it. Those are about as deep as I got on those. After that, I kind of lost interest. To me.
Yeah. It's the thing I like about this is he's younger.
Yeah.
So kind of more like the Baldwin character in Hunt for Red October. They changed the story around a little bit to update it.
Is it more analytical like the books, or is he more action man?
Probably more analytical than action man, but there's times when he's tossed into it and he has to do stuff, which was handled well, but it wasn't over the top. It's not all of a sudden he goes from a CIA analyst into now he's the world's greatest martial arts expert, and he's fallible.
Okay, that's good.
So it's not that over the top. Anybody can beat up anybody. Mm-hmm. So I like that part of it.
So they made him a little human, which is good.
It did. They did a good job of that. The parts on his personal life, I kind of like those as well. Mm-hmm. The woman that he's dating, I was curious, so I'm looking at the name, and eventually she's the woman who becomes his wife.
Okay.
Because she's a doctor. I'm like, wait, wasn't his wife a doctor?
Yeah, Beverly Crusher.
Yeah.
From the first one, at least, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was...
she was hot.
She was. Mm-hmm. I'm older, so I can still say she's hot.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was well done. Like I said, other than that one part that I just didn't get, I liked it.
I got it in the queue, so I'm going to give it a watch.
Oh, there you go.
I've got a couple other shows in the queue, too.
I've got Iron Fist queued up.
Do you? Season 2?
Yeah.
I couldn't get through season 1, man. I didn't even finish it.
I did. It didn't bother me.
Yeah?
No. You know what we should do, because we haven't talked about a lot of this? We should do, and I think we talked about this before, we should do like a Things We Missed episode.
Yeah, like a roundup.
Yeah, like a year in review sort of thing. All the things that we
didn't bitch about that we want to talk about.
Yeah. So apparently Gary and McKinney thinks that it's a hipster podcast because hating things is a hipster attitude.
I think hating things has been around forever. I think that's since the days of Andy Rooney, right? At least.
Yeah.
Let's give it that far back.
You know what? How did he say it?
What, Andy Rooney? I don't know.
You know what? I don't understand.
Right.
Yeah, or something like that. But yeah, he would always just point things out like, I don't get these.
These are annoying things, yeah.
Yeah.
I think as you get older, you kind of do that automatically. We're in that
probably
stage of
because you see it from a different perspective, and you're like, this makes no sense whatsoever.
Right. But there's things we didn't already.
Well, yeah, like you with Goonies.
Right.
As you're watching it, it's just like, well, now they're annoying kids.
Exactly. Yeah. Back then it was great.
Yeah. Does Stand By Me hold up then?
Stand By Me is, I think, a better film.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not screaming and yelling the entire time. It's more of them trying to figure stuff out. I think there's some better actors in that as well. Not
True.
that, you look at Josh Brolin now, he's done great, but he wasn't the main star of that movie. You had Sean Astin, who I can't stand still to this day. So that doesn't help.
I don't get him.
I don't understand him either.
Yeah, I don't.
I loved seeing him die in Stranger Things. Hashtag. What do you call it?
Spoilers?
Spoiler, yeah.
I haven't watched
Hashtag
Stranger
spoilers.
Things.
Yeah.
So.
You haven't watched Stranger Things?
No, everybody was like, oh, there's so much 80s nostalgia. It's like, that's not enough to get me through this.
Right. Did you try it and didn't like it?
I got through like 2.5 episodes. And was like,
I thought it was great. Yeah, it was a good
show.
show.
Same way, I haven't watched Ready Player One either.
Yeah, we just watched that.
Because I'm again, I have a real hard time with movies about kids. Because I just don't care.
Right.
You know, find me something about a crotchety adult.
Anybody that does, I think there's probably nobody that does kid movies better than, say, Spielberg. With the younger kids, he does the middle school, elementary kids movies well, and you go back to E.T. in those days and stuff. But you're getting John Hughes does teenagers best. So, but that's back in the day, right?
You know, and now, God, was it Molly Ringwald?
Yeah, she doesn't like him.
Yeah,
She's
because of
they're very sexist or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
She's saying like, "Oh, I never would have ended up with Bender," and
right, because it's like,
her shit the entire time.
Yeah, and it's like he's too aggressive. Like he never assaulted you. It was, he said crude things to me. It's like
that kind of shit happens all the time.
Yeah, how is that? So if the purpose of movies is only to portray our best selves, then there's no drama. So why watch anything? It's going to be boring as hell.
Right. And I've been I'm sure you've been in those situations. I've been in those situations in high school where you just had this person you didn't get along with. You were just, if you just butted heads, you didn't like them. And then you eventually ended up either dating them or making out with them or one of the two, and that was it.
Absolutely.
And it was just, there's that level of like hate that turns into lust.
So Zach Levi, I was watching some YouTube stuff he does, the guy from Chuck and now Shazam.
Right.
And somebody criticized him on his Twitter feed because some kid wrote him, "Hey, I'm in high school. I'm a bit of a nerd and a putz and whatnot. No game with the girls. You're a cool, suave guy. How'd you manage in high school?" And he said, "Man, I wasn't cool in high school. I would argue I'm still not cool, but I had no game. I was friend zoned all the time, etc." Somebody responds to his tweet that she couldn't believe he would use a sexist term like friend zoned.
Wow.
Because now that's apparently a misogynistic sexist term.
Friend zoned?
Yes. Because the inference is that you have girlfriend zoned her, so she is now obligated to boyfriend zone you.
Right.
So you're making the assumption that she should be your girlfriend and want to date you. And so the term friend zone has a negative male connotation. And again, I'm thinking, okay, again, too much time on your hands. And all that is a way of summing up, hey, I got the friend speech. I got the, you know what, I do like you, but I think of you more as a friend.
Right.
And you're like, oh, all right. You got friend zoned. You were too nice. You weren't.
You're like the brother I never had.
Right. And that's always the thing we said, don't be too nice.
Right.
Because then it's going to be, well, he could be a friend and not a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. But now apparently that means that we feel obligated, or that they are obligated to look at us and so. I get it's bullshit. It's like flat Earth. It's like there's a difference between these things. And I just saw a thing. Norm Macdonald is now on an apology tour,
right?
Because he was talking about people who've been called out because of the Me Too movement, and he said, now these people are not. There's no redemption, and it used to be you admit what you do, you apologize, you go away, you're forgiven, and you come back. And now it's just like, no, you did it. Your career is over. There's no redemption for you.
Right. And
he was like, I don't know if that's right.
Yeah.
And people took it as, well, he's saying these people are victims. He goes, no, I'm not saying what they did was not wrong or horrible, or what they're going through is worse than what the victim went through.
Right.
But I'm just saying, there's degrees to this. And I think that takes away too, as far as the degree. Because to say, well, I was harassed and, well, I was harassed too. And it's like, well, what happened to you? Well, I was pinned against a wall and forced into something I didn't want to do, versus, well, I was ogled and told I had nice boobs. Like, you may not want to hear it from that guy.
Right.
Is it harassment? A little bit, but don't compare yourself to the girl who was raped.
Right.
It's like you don't get to make that comparison. You should be thankful that didn't happen to you.
Exactly.
Because, it's not on the same playing field. And I kind of feel like everybody wants to jump in and be a victim.
Right.
To some extent.
Yeah. And I think the issue is, you had that type of stuff happen back in the day, right?
Sure.
I mean, there's all kinds of the history of Hollywood is very risque and sleazy, and it's always been that way.
There's a reason there's something called a casting couch.
Right. But the difference now is that everybody has a say in it. So back then it happened, it maybe made the news, you talked about it for a week, and the guy said, I'm sorry, and then it was over, and then the guy still had a career, or the girl still had a career, whoever.
Sure.
Know, since we're not going to say that it can't be a girl or a guy. That
right.
does it.
Well,
so,
there's one now.
Aja Argento.
Guy, was accused of that.
Yeah.
And because the guy was, 17, not 18?
Right. So, I mean, the thing is now, though, that happens, and everybody can jump on the bandwagon. Everybody has an opinion, and it takes it to another level, whereas you could have had a career back in the day because not everybody would talk about it.
Right.
Now it's so far out there that everybody jumps on that bandwagon. They feel like if they're going to support the whole Me Too thing, they have to go 100% with it. So that guy can't have a career anymore. So you got, Louis C.K., who went and did his thing, but he still never apologized. So everybody's like, "Oh, fuck that guy."
No, I thought he did apologize.
I don't think he did.
No, I think when they mentioned it, he's like, "Yep, I did it. I'm sorry. I'm a sleazebag."
Yeah,
I think he didn't hide from it.
Maybe he didn't apologize enough. I don't know, but for whatever reason, people are still against him, saying that he had a rape joke in there he shouldn't have had, and whatever. But that's his job, is to make you think, to make you laugh at something that you may think is you shouldn't laugh at. That's the idea of a comedian, right?
And that would be another thing we could talk about. There's a documentary I just watched called "Can We Take a Joke" on Amazon, and talking about why comedians have to apologize for jokes now.
Right.
And one girl, I think she mostly works college campuses. She's black. That's germane to this. She said when people used to ask her to describe her background, or when she'd tell people, "Here's my childhood," she said, "I grew up a Huxtable." And she said, and it used to mean that I grew up in a middle to upper middle class black family where both my parents were college educated in white collar jobs.
Right.
And she said, so the joke was, now when I tell people I grew up a Huxtable, they think that my dad was a rapist who went and drugged women. And it's a good joke. But yet she gets criticized, like, "Oh, don't make fun of the people who Cosby." And it's like, she's not. She's making fun of Cosby.
Right.
And
but people throw the victimology in there and say you're making fun of the situation, which makes fun of the victims, which makes so on and so forth. And that's
Ricky
not what
Gervais
it is.
does it. His latest stand-up, he goes into a lot of that. And he says he got into it with a woman on Twitter. And it's great because he goes...
I saw that, yeah.
And he's like, "I should have left it alone, but I didn't."
Yeah.
But he says the woman was like, "Do you think rape is funny?" He's like, "God, no." He goes, "There's nothing funny about rape. But a rape joke, right. And he's trying to differentiate between, sometimes the way you cope with things that are horrible is you make a joke about it.
Right.
But he was quick to defend, like, no. A joke about something is different than that thing. That thing can be heinous, but a joke about that thing could be funny.
Right.
And it's a great special. I don't remember the name of it.
I mean, that's, at that toke, with that idea... comedy doesn't exist if that's the case, because comedy comes from tragedy. Every single comedian's out there. I mean, look at these guys like Robin Williams, who you think, oh, he's one of the funniest guys on the planet, and everybody loves him. Committed suicide because there's some shit going on, right?
There's a lot of pain, and it's a coping mechanism, and I think it sharpens the skills. Same with writing. I think same with any of the arts. There's some damaged people there, and it's like, this is my coping mechanism. This is my outlet. Who knows? Maybe it's a couple of guys in a hot garage doing a podcast.
You never know.
Yeah. But it's like, I've got a fucked up childhood. I've never hid that, but it's an outlet, and maybe it's something about no pain, no gain. Unless you go to the gym and your muscles hurt, you're not going to grow a muscle.
Right.
Maybe that's the thing of all this shit you go through when you're younger, is it develops into a creative outlet so you can cope.
Right. Right.
So really, all the science and math majors, they're the healthy people.
Right.
It's everybody who goes into the humanities like, I grew up in an abusive family.
Right. So I'm going to help people that are in that situation.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? There is a value. There was a quote by James Garner, how he wanted to be remembered. I can't give you the whole quote. But basically it was, he wanted to be remembered as somebody who made people smile. And he had said something to the along the lines of, "I have a stupid job. I get paid to pretend. But you know what? If for just a few minutes, maybe an hour out of somebody's day, they smile, they laugh, and they forget their problems, it's worth it.
Right.
And I think there's tremendous value to that.
Definitely, yeah.
And we don't think about that enough.
That's what entertainment's all about. I mean, you can say it in all aspects. You can say it whether it be movies, books, music, sports. I mean, they all essentially do that, right?
Yeah.
They take you out of your current situation, make you think about something else, and make you smile about it. So,
and hopefully that's what we've done with you today for these past half hour or so.
Right.
Yeah, 4 weeks in a row, man.
Piss off some flat earthers, and
that's fine.
They're going to come after us, so we'll just run to the other side. They won't be able to get over there. So
that's true. I'm going to jump over the other side, man. God.
I don't know. Conspiracy theories, man. Which ones? Okay, so let's real quick.
Okay.
Conspiracy theories you think might have some merit. Area 51?
No.
No, you think that's bullshit?
I kind of do, yeah.
Okay. JFK?
I do. My personal take on all bullshit aside, I think it was probably the mob. Okay. Because of the fact that the mob was instrumental in getting him elected.
Right.
And then as soon as he's elected, he and Bobby decide we're going to go hard after the mob. And those are the only two brothers. They were the two that were assassinated.
Right.
So that's just, I see that as completely plausible. I've been to Dealey Plaza, and I've just looked at the angle, just as a non-math guy. I'm like, I don't see how you can make that shot. Not by the speed of it. I just don't see the angles working.
Right.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
I think it's plausible.
Okay, so what do we got?
Moon landing.
Moon landing. You think that's bullshit, or you think we did it?
No, we did it.
We did it. What about the whole pictures where the things are not there and stuff, or the items in front of the squares and stuff like that?
Oh, I don't know. People sit there and Photoshop shit all the time, and you know, you could put me in a photo with the Rat Pack.
Yeah.
So I give no credence to that.
Speaking of moon landing, the new movie with Ryan Gosling,
they're not
controversy about that
because they don't show the flag.
What the fuck? I mean, that's history. Why would you cut that out of the historical?
And Gosling gave the response of it was more than just an American thing; it was a thing for the world.
I get that, but you don't have a United
my hunch
flag
is
of Bennington then or something. I don't know what the fuck.
I don't know if it's a screw you to Trump. Like we're not proud of our country now. Because I don't know what it is, but I would certainly put it in there.
I would
because I think that's an iconic moment.
That's weird that's not in there.
I don't get that. So
and then 9/11, that's a big one. 9/11 conspiracy.
I really don't like 9/11 conspiracy theorists. Yeah. That was a fucked up thing.
It was, yeah.
And to sit there and try to belittle and just like no. And there was even a video Popular Mechanics did. And they're like, here's why all your science is wrong. Mm-hmm. And they went into that. But I mean, to me, that's almost just like capitalizing on a horrific event. Right. It would be like people going, Pearl Harbor was faked. No, people lost their lives and it was horrible.
Right.
Why are you trying to make something of this? And I get it. People didn't like George Bush. Fine. I don't like everything he did. But at the end of the day, it's like, no, this is shit that happened.
Right. The Holocaust never happened.
Right.
Which is a big one. That's a huge fuck you.
That is. And God, there's people running for Congress in this country now who are Holocaust deniers.
Oh, wow. What?
Yeah. I couldn't name names, but yeah, there was a guy in Missouri running on that.
Jeez.
Where, the numbers were exaggerated. Like, you know what, sir? Fucking you.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know,
what a putz.
Yeah.
To use one of your words,
yeah. Yeah, an absolute
schmuck. Is another
schmuck.
One. What's the difference between putz and a schmuck?
Schmuck. Putz is kind of like an idiot. Schmuck's kind of just like, not so much an idiot, but...
an asshole, maybe, or something?
Yeah.
A jerk.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you the difference between schlemiel and schlemazel.
Oh, what's that?
Schlemiel would be the type of guy who gets soup spilled on him in a restaurant.
Okay,
or,
so me.
Something, but somebody spills on him. The schlemazel would be the guy who spills it.
I'm both.
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
There you go. You're the guy who wears the giant bib so you don't spill it on yourself.
And then I get it spilled on me, yeah.
There you go.
That happened the other day in Arizona. Or not Arizona, in, where was I? Oklahoma. I was doing so well, and then the guy passed by and chipped me with a edge of a dirty plate and got it on my shirt. I'm like, motherfucker.
Fucking grainer.
Yep. No, it wasn't great.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure. Let's see. So any conspiracy theories you think validity?
I'm kind of in the same area as you. I think the Kennedy thing, there's definitely something going on there. I believe Area 51 not necessarily the entire story, but I think they did find something. I don't know that they got aliens and they were alive. I don't think that happened, but I think there was something there. And I think that sparked the need to look into UFOs. So I think that's definitely a plausible thing. 9/11 stuff I think is all bullshit. I think that's garbage. Just people. It just annoys me that people even thought that was a thing. That people went that deep into it and made videos that are an hour and a half long on YouTube about that. It's like, come on.
Clearly, it's the government.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of our government, not because of the current leader, just
in general.
Yeah. It's a cluster.
Yeah.
But no. There was too much bullshit going on with that.
Yeah.
These were evil people doing an evil thing, and you can't get around that.
No, definitely not. And the flat Earth thing, I think, is real. I think there really is.
Flat earthing is such horseshit. I don't get it. The best meme I saw was, how the Earth isn't flat because a cat would have knocked all the shit off the edge.
That's true.
I'm like, there's a point to that.
There's a very big point to that.
Hey, you want to do this again next week?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right. Hey, kids. So thanks for spending some time with Brandon and I. We are going to wrap things up. If in the meantime they want to contact us like Gary did, although that was face-to-face. It was very old school.
Right.
How would they do that?
Well, you can go to Twitter and look up Love to Hate Pod. You can send us a message there. You can also go to the Facebook page, which is Love to Hate Podcast. And that's about it, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. We have Instagram, but that's my own Instagram and your own Instagram. We don't have a Love to Hate Instagram, so we just do the Potter. We just do the Potter. Not the Potter.
The Potter.
The Twitter. Yeah.
We're on the Twitter.
We're on the Twitter and the Facebook. There you go.
That works. If you can't find us there, you're not looking hard enough.
Right.
All right, kids. Have fun. We'll talk to you next week.
Next week, baby.